Well, folks, welcome to one more edition of Politics and Random. Egberto Willies, your host. Thank you so kind for being a part of the show. We are going to have a great show for you today. How's everybody doing? I trust that you all had a great weekend. Well, you know what? I had a workful weekend, but I love to work. So it was very, 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 very good. How are you all doing? I know you're fine because I heard that you're fine. Anyway, folks, we got a lot to talk about today. But before I get busy, I want to welcome folks at home. Eric Hayes is from Tascasita, Kingwood in the house. Bridge MCP from Binghamton, New York in the house. Let's see. Lee Grant is in the house from Montgomery County. Yvette Avery Herod from Atlanta, Georgia is in the house. We also have Michael Rudnick from Brooklyn, New York. Did I say Tom Limerick, you heat? I meant here. I've been going. I just got that stuff done, so I guess I better correct it. Thank you for finding the mistake. Let me go ahead and see if I can make that change, at least online, so that folks don't think I'm just talking about the guy's heat, right? Let's see. Tom Czarnik Portler has Trump Limerick, you must hear. Oh, I have here. Let me see. Where do I see heat? I must have missed something, Bridge MCP. I must have missed something. Let's see. What want to hear? Yeah, hear, but I don't know. I got to look it up and see. Oh, it's probably in the blog, isn't it? I'll go ahead and fix that. Wherever it is that it is. Paul Fleming is in the house as well from Powder Spring, Georgia. All right, let's go ahead and get busy. All right, let's see. Oh, God. Eric Hayes says, Joe Rogan sues MSNBC for $30 million over a deceptive editing of Joe's popular podcaster and commenter has taken legal action against MSNBC for $30 million after accusing the network of deceptively editing a clip of him to make it appear as though he was supporting Kamala Harris. In reality, Rogan was criticizing Harris and discussing how the media distorts the truth to manipulate public opinion. The controversy began when a clip circulated on social media showing Rogan allegedly endorsing Harris, a narrative that he vehemently denies. Rogan asserts that the edited clip misrepresents his views and undermines his credibility as a commentator. He believes that MSNBC's actions were a deliberate attempt to mislead viewers and paint him in a negative light. This lawsuit highlights a growing concern over media manipulation. And give me a link. Where is the link? Where is the link? Don't put all that word if you're not going to put a link in there. With the rise of deepfakes and deceptive editing techniques, it has become increasingly difficult to fact-check fiction. Let's see. Rogan's case serves as a cautionary tale for media outlets and consumers alike, urging them to be vigilant in verifying the authenticity of information they encounter online. As the lawsuit unfolds, it raises the media outlets and consumer alike. It raises important questions about the responsibility of media organizations to uphold journalistic integrity and the consequences they may face for the breach of trust. Rogan's legal battle against MSNBC is a reminder that truth and accuracy should always be paramount in the pursuit of all. I want to see the clip. Let's see the clip. All right, but here's a funny thing. You notice Brother Eric brings that to us, right? But the thing that he fails to do is for all the misleading information that we actually got out of Fox News, I don't think he ever, because Fox News is a bastion of lying, so much so that they've had to pay near $1 billion to exonerate themselves. I got the link. I'm looking for a video. There's no video in there with Rogan. So I guess I'll have to go search that some other time. But I'll look for it and search for it because I can almost guarantee you, well, you know what it is. Anyway, Tom Czarnik is here. Great, Tom. You were the star on Saturday at Ask Egberto Anything. And I told you I was going to cut that limerick out. And you know what? I did it. So you know how we're going to start the show? Keep putting stuff in the chat, guys. But let's start the show with a wonderful limerick by the one and only Tom Czarnik. And this was from our show on not show, our Ask Egberto Anything Zoom on Saturday. Here we go.
I wrote a limerick this morning that's kind of like about this whole thing.
Oh, so is it ready?
Yep, it's brand new.
All right, so let's prepare it. Let's prepare it. All right.
Okay.
In short notice, folks, we have a special limerick from the PDR Posse's poet laureate, El Señor Tom Czarnik.
Okay. At the Black Journalists Conference, Trump got into a fight, claiming that each race is different as day and night, based on the hue of skin and features facial, denying that a person can be multiracial. On this, the journalists took Donald to task. But one question I wish they would have asked: we thought you were orange. When did you become white?
Eric could love that one. Eric has got to love that one. Now, guys, tell me that wasn't the limerick of limericks. Trump wanted to use colorization and ethnicization, and Tom just twisted on him. Hey, orange, come on, orange man. Anyway, I thought that was funny. Hey, folks, don't forget, go ahead and like the program, show the program, whether you're on Twitter or Facebook or YouTube. Please go ahead and up arrow that guy so that the algorithm will be done. All right, let's see what else we got here. Coming down, scrolling down. Hey, Bridge, I'm still wanting to know where is it that I said heat, because I need to fix that as soon as possible. I don't want to have too many misspellings out there mess with my thing here. Let's see. Question to Trump about. All right, let me know where that link is that I have to correct, my dear Bridge MCP. All right, Bridge MCP says Egberto Willies on your YouTube and FB. Oh, really? I thought I just checked that. I'll go ahead and check it again. Anyway, what else have we got here? Paul Fleming says, a lot of Republicans like me might just decide not to vote at all in the presidential election because of stupid antics like tonight, said Peaky, a former Republican legislator. Trump may have just lost Georgia. I don't think he had to do that to lose Georgia. I think he was going to lose Georgia anyway, because the awakening is here. And like I told you guys, this is going to be a landslide win for the Democrats. It's not only Kamala Harris. Kamala was just to change the catalyst that was needed. That's all Kamala is, the catalyst. There needed to be a catalyst out there to let folks say, let's break out of the funk. And that's going to explode from the municipalities to the states to the federal government. That is what in store right this minute. Okay, Eric Hayes says, Canada, unlike other countries already at net zero, using math, it's proved why still a carbon tax. Huh? I don't get it, but I don't get it. I really don't get it. But maybe you can explain a little bit better what you're trying to say there. And by the way, you can call in anybody, 281-823-7747. Again, the number is 281-823-7747. All right. Eric also says, what happened in July with Orange Man is a tragedy. And if the VP wins, it will squash not further investigated. People died and the government is not forthcoming. Are you kidding me? You had a bipartisan Senate, bipartisan House. Not only that, the Democrats came right out and condemned it and called for the firing or the resignation of the lady who ran the Secret Service. Everybody's working their butts off to find out what that terrible Secret Service failure. I don't know what you're talking about, Eric. Everybody wants to solve that problem because when it comes to somebody's life, remember, there's going to be a lot of people that need protected. The new vice president will need protection. Kamala is going to need protection. JD Vance is going to need protection, and we don't want people dying on or assassinated. It's never good for society. In fact, we want Trump beat fair and square. We want Trump beat so badly that he just leaves the country. I think that's what he'll do, right? If he gets beat badly, leave the country to try to and go to a country where there's not an extradition treaty with America. But anyway, let's see. Tom C says, I'm here and it's hot. So I guess I am in heat. Nope, that didn't come out right. Nah, I don't think that came out right, senor. Lee Grant says, keep an eye on World War III breaking out with Israel. You listen to Trump too often. How World War III would assume that there are a lot of different governments that somehow have an interest in what's really going on in the Middle East. While the Middle East have a lot to do with oil, the parts of the Middle East that will likely explode have little to do with oil. Everything is going to be confined to Lebanon, to Israel, Gaza, etc. But, Netanyahu is in fact a warmonger, and he will get a lot of people killed just to save his butt. Now, I talk about people being evil. That is evil maximas. Maximo, evil. What is evil in Spanish again? Maldad. That is maldad maximo. Okay? All right. Michael Run says, LOL, Joe Rogan continually platforming conspiracy nutters has long since lost any credibility. Yes, he has. And the thing about the guy is that he's not consistent, right? He likes to play as if he's right down the middle in the way he talks to people. He has a huge audience, but a lot of his audience is very ill-informed because, again, he is in fact himself ill-informed. All right, Paul Fleming says Supreme Court rejects Missouri's long-shot bid to block Trump's gag order and sentencing in hush money case. It's amazing how we would have one state that Trump controls, that he owns the politician in that state, think they have stand-in to make a claim on something else. I just find it ironic, right? All right, Paul Fleming also says Trump may be the only man who ever got shot at and then shot himself in the foot in the same month. Hey, he shot himself in both feet, 2 hands. I mean, look how much crap he's done since. This guy is going down for a maximal defeat. I am so disappointed that the media is scared to say what is actually occurring. A landslide, like I've been speaking about. Remember, I said landslide months ago because I foresaw Americans getting intelligent. All right, I foresaw this. Anyhow, let's continue. We have para ver qué más tengo aquí para recibir. All right, Trump never divested from his business when he became president. We know. Forbes now estimate that he earned $550 million during his time in office. A huge chunk of that came from foreign investors and governments, whose payroll will be on if he gets back in the White House. He will be on their payroll, and we know that. We all know that. Okay, para ver qué más tengo aquí. Melanie Keelan from Barcelona, Spain is in the house. Buenas tardes, Melanie. I think right now you should have about 10 at night. So for you, it would be buenas noches. All right. What else have we got here? Paul Fleming says, break in. Jenna Ellis has flipped. Arizona Attorney General Chris Mays reached a cooperation agreement with ex-Trump lawyer Jenna Ellis in the state's fake electors case. Mayor has agreed to drop the charges against Ellis in exchange for her cooperation with this prosecution. Let's see what immunity buys him, right? Should be funny. Let's see what else we got here. Para ver. Scrolling down before. Eric K says, landslide win for blue is the finished piece of destroying our country. It doesn't matter what I tell you. But folks, let me go ahead and play this for you. And then we'll move on. This is from a caller in the red. Here we go. Let's go to Brother Joe. Come on in, Brother Joe. Come on in.
Hey, good morning. Man, you never know with this show what you're going to end up talking about. But so starters, like Howard said, check your facts, right? But Venezuela nationalized all their oil, or much of their oil industry in the 70s, dude, and kicked big companies like ExxonMobil and ConocoPhillips out their country. So it's not like we strangled them. They let us come down, develop these assets, and then threw us out and took them over. And then they just ran it into the ground for the next 30 years. And then actually Donald Trump threw him a bone, and he let a super major go down there and actually begin to operate. So and to spend some money to bring those assets back online and help them. So check your facts, dude.
When it comes to Venezuela, the thing about it is Venezuela is not all that complex. First of all, Maduro, I think, got beat. All right. In the election that just occurred, Maduro got beat, and they're playing a lot of hanky-panky with that vote. That said, there was a reason why Chavez came into existence. The oil companies that went to Venezuela, they went in there and took their resources. All right. Yes, they drilled. Yes, they did all of that. But then they've got pennies on the dollar for every barrel of oil. So you had the elite Venezuelan, the oligarchy in Venezuela, making money in conjunto with the oligarchs from the United States. But the people were left bare. And yes, it was once a democracy, etc. But understand the facts here. The facts are true. They got kicked out, and the Venezuelan kicked out the Americans and everybody else that was ripping them off. And the penalty that they paid is, okay, you throw us out, we're not going to help you keep those things developed. And then you get all kind of corruption in there plus that, and it happens. It's not like, oh, the great savior America was going to Venezuela to make the Venezuelan people whole. That was never the case. It's just what plutocrats do all over the world, whether it be Africa, Asia, South America, Central America. They go there to extract resources, and they don't go there to help the people. They don't go there to do anything good for the people. So let's get it right, my dear brother Joe. I am from that part of the world. I understand it better than most do because I am from there and see what the powers do when they come into the what they like to call the third world. I got to let you go. Can't get you answer because my phones are filled, but we can finish this tomorrow. Thank you, brother Joe. Let's go to Gonzalo.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number 1, subscribe to our channel. And number 2, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.
Absolutely. Join, folks. Join. Don't forget, many ways to join. Just go to politicsandright.com/support if you want to support what we're doing here. Anyway, folks, welcome aboard. Nita Lowry from Fort Worth, Texas. How you doing, Nita? Great to have you here. And on the program today, Maywood from Long Beach, California is in the house as well. If I missed any newcomers, please go ahead and chime in, and I'll be sure to call you out as well. Anyhow, my dear friends, Nita Lowry says, I'm from Fort Worth, Texas. Bridge MCP says, para ver, supposedly shot one day, played golf the next day, no bandage, next day convention gauze. The best his cult wore him as well. I know. I mean, it is a cult. It is, in fact, a cult. All right, let's see. Canada produces 708 million kilograms per year. It has 370 billion trees, each eating up 22 kilograms carbon per year. They are net zero in carbon. Why do they still have carbon tax? All right, let's be very, very clear. While Canada may go ahead and burn that much energy, they export quite a bit more than that. Okay, and a carbon tax is just to put it bluntly, the carbon tax is just a matter for corporations to find a way to burn fossil fuel irrespective. We need to get rid of all of that and simply start working towards, instead of trying to make it a market-driven reduce carbon, it should be a law to reduce carbon over time based on science. Market doesn't know science. The market doesn't know healthcare. The market does not have some sort of a brain. The market is a fictional thing that was created by a whole bunch of folks who really, I hate to put it this way, but they necessarily knew nothing about society in the aggregate. But I'll talk about that some other time when I have Dr. Richard Wolf here on with me. All right, let's see what else we got here. Got Joe Rogan is more level-headed than most people? No, not really. A level-headed person won't have the positions that he had on vaccines, etc. But I bet he had his vaccine. All right, Eric Hayes says, politics done right. Willie, it's pretty disgusting to joke about people getting shot and someone died. Just a low point for you and Paul Fleming. Nope, that's not what he said, nor was he disparaging the people who died. But you do it all the time, though. You do disparage people that die. When you go ahead and say when you talk about people in the blue, look, the Republican legislature in Texas have been killing people every day. They have been killing people every day, and you have not lifted a finger to write your congressperson and say support the Medicaid expansion to the Affordable Care Act to stop killing Texans. Did you once say that? Come on, brother. You have to be consistent. All right. Bridge MCP says, Judge Tanya Chuckton is wasting no time within 24 hours of getting jurisdiction back in the D.C. case against Donald. She first filed an order requiring briefs on immunity by August 9th, denying a motion to dismiss on statutory grounds without prejudice, and rescheduling a status update for August 16th. And now she has ruled on Donald's bids to throw out the case based on vindictive and selective prosecution, denying his motion to dismiss. So let's go over here. So Donald is going to lose big time. And after Donald loses big time, he's going to jail. So your idol is going to jail. Your cult leader is going to jail. Talk to me, my brother Ray from not South Park, Third Ward. Come on in, my brother. How you doing?
You know what? I have to say, Egberto, while you said that was almost a Freudian slip, I just want to acknowledge that because, all this time I've been repping Third Ward and that was my neighborhood. But It's almost like I wanted to say one day, Egberto, I kind of rep South Park. So that was actually correct. I'm closer to that area now since I moved back to my mom's house.
All right. So what part of South Park are you in? Near Martin Luther King?
Yeah. Right in between that area. Thank God we didn't lose our lights for longer than maybe 2 days. But
wow,
it's been a struggle for some people.
That's good. So talk to me, my brother. Talk to me.
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to check your email for a meme I sent. I think you'll enjoy it quite a bit. But I just wanted to talk about I was having a team meeting at my current work that I'm doing right now, and I've been working trying to get word out for what we're doing. And one of our tasks during the team meeting was to state some of our values or just kind of paint a picture of what an ideal platform looks like. And one of the things I had yelled out was guaranteed income. And then one of my coworkers, who was a Black woman, she was probably, I think she's 49, although she doesn't look it. But she was a Black woman in the group. And the first thing she yelled out was, ain't nothing guaranteed. You want to get money, you got to work for it. And then it kind of got heated because I was like, so you just, I told her, I said, you sound like a Republican right now. And she got offended. And you know what? I felt like maybe that's good that you got offended by that.
Yes.
But at the same time, I wanted to tell her, if you are a Republican, but you choose to vote Democrat occasionally, that's all right too. But I'm telling you, my values, what you said, you sound very Republican when you say they got to work for it, because she bought into that hustle culture BS that we've all been told to buy into. And I had to kind of sit back and apologize to the group, because I know maybe I could have delivered it a little bit better, but I felt like that was the truth. What's your thoughts on that?
What was the context? What did she when she said nothing is guaranteed? In what context did she say that?
So the conversation was basically, name a policy position or something. Just, so we're trying to basically see what would a Texas for all type of platform look like. And I said, right, everybody gets a guaranteed income. She took it as, everybody just gets to live for free and don't have to pay for anything. I was just meaning like a minimum amount, like Andrew Yang said, $1,000 a month. It might not be that much, but at least everybody gets a minimum amount of money that they could at least survive on until they can figure out how to bridge the gap. Or it could help them bridge the gap when they have trouble making ends meet because their job doesn't pay them enough. But she didn't see it that way. She saw it as, I want to just have a government handout that nobody has to work for. And she doesn't believe anybody in this country should get anything for free that they didn't slave and work for. And I don't believe in that. And it saddened me that we're working on the same team, but we don't necessarily have the same values.
Here's the thing, that the reason I asked you in what context, right? I think the woman, like most, I think she was just ignorant, right? And I don't say that as a disparage or anything like that. I'm saying that meaning that first of all, the narrative, was this a mostly minority group, a group of, let's say, minorities?
Yeah, it was, black. Yeah, I work with all black and brown individuals.
Okay, good. The reason why is this, right? There's a narrative out there that people of color, whether it be Latinos or black, somehow always want a handout, right? And what has happened in the black community is they're not Republicans, right? But that stigma affects them. And whenever they hear somebody without understanding the concept, somebody like you come out and say everybody should get a check or something like that, the bell that it rings is like, well, we want to show that we're self-sufficient. We want to show that we're out there fighting not for a handout, but for a hand up, and she may have taken that for that. And, so I would have given her the next level, right? Because when most of us who are progressives know the lingo, we know the lingo of, what basic income means. We know the lingo of what defund the police means. It doesn't mean we don't want police or whatever. It means that we want to reallocate funds that make sense. A police shouldn't be handling a mental illness issue. You and I know that. A lot of folks are ignorant to that. So we have to play the role first of educating. A lot of people don't understand that corporations are the biggest thugs and thieves in this world. They don't understand. They don't get it.
And the biggest welfare recipients.
Right.
Let's not forget.
Exactly. But what happened is that the way the narrative is said on TV and elsewhere, when you make those statements, I don't know if you remember, if you read my book, I don't know if you remember when I said I hated affirmative action in the book at first, until I learned that I was probably an affirmative action hire. Two things doesn't make excuse. And the reason I hated it then is I knew that everybody who saw me with this job thought I was an affirmative action hire. So normally my self-defense was to not like affirmative action because of the stigma it placed on me. I think that woman was going through that sort of a thing. Don't put that stigma that they put on black and brown people wanting a handout, because the fact of the matter is that black and brown people are not the ones who get the most handouts, neither numerically or in the number of handouts. In other words, they are not the ones receiving most of the welfare in this country. And, so I mean, we have
still haven't gotten reparations.
Right. Look, and don't add reparations in there. If we were to add what you call the amortized value of what unpaid people
with
did
interest
in this
and
country,
compounded and all that,
the country could not afford what they got for free. That's a statement of fact. And anybody wants to discuss that, I am willing to do it numerically with them. But I'm not even going there. I am saying just for current honesty, that woman, what I would have done with her, brother Ray, is give her the opportunity to learn about basic income, give her the opportunity to learn about who actually gets welfare. And then if she remains with pig-headed, then, we can go to the next step. But I always prefer giving the person the benefit of the doubt. But, hey, name of the game. So what else you got for me, my brother?
Well, let me tell you. Let me tell you the conclusion of the story. We came to an agreement. I mean, we still, are able to work. It just saddens me to know that I work in progressive spaces and all the people that I work around are not as progressive. And, to your point to say, maybe she was just ignorant. And I understand ignorance. But I'm going to tell you something else real quick. There's some people who are out here that's just ignorant. IGNANT. They don't want to learn better. And that's the people I don't have no tolerance for. But you have a wonderful day, Egberto, and I'm going to keep listening.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate it. And when he says some people are ignorant, what he means is that there are people that are dumb, right? Look, there are certain things that I'm dumb in. I'll admit it. But once I'm enlightened, once I'm educated, I'm no longer dumb on that issue. The problem is there are some people that are dumb and they engulf themselves in their dumbness, right? They engulf themselves in their uneducatedness. When I'm uneducated about something, I want to be educated, and once educated, I change. But that has to come with having belief in yourself, having pride in yourself, and not being fearful of saying, "Oh, I just learned something. I was wrong on that issue." Tom says, Egberto, I don't normally believe in conspiracy theories, but wondering if hedge fund billionaires are conspiring to crash the stock market and the economy so Trump wins the election. Hope I'm wrong. What started in Japan is by the way, that is something that they wouldn't do, because the truth of the matter is a Trump economy wouldn't help them, right? A Trump economy based on tariffs, if it were ever to go through, would actually harm their personal economy, right? Inflation would go through the roof, etc., because that would be real inflation. Remember, there are two kinds of inflation: corporate greed inflation and inflation caused by tariffs, right? In other words, corporate greed inflation says, I'm getting the product at the same price. I just decide to inflate it because I can. That's corporate greed inflation. But the inflation caused by tariffs is, for me to bring a car in that costs $10,000, if I now have to pay $20,000, that's real inflation country to country. That's not corporate-driven inflation. All right. Now, when it comes to this, I read an article on Axios this morning just about what's happening there on why a lot of folks got stuck. Let me explain what happened in Japan. Japan's stock market dropped by 13%. Okay. One of the reasons now what Japan did is they actually increased their discount rate, their interest rates, right? What a lot of hedge funds managers and other money managers, remember I've told you the people that just gamble, they don't make anything, they don't create anything. What they did is they would borrow money in Japan at 0% and put that money into American CDs at 5%, and they'll create financial instruments on those things. Well, as Japan started to unwind, meaning Japan goes ahead and increase interest rates, etc., their stock market crater, because again, what happens? You increase interest rates, suddenly those are better investments than certain investments, right? Because as interest rate goes up, right, supposedly you can put your money into stocks for a higher yield than otherwise. But in the case of what happens in America, they got the double whammy. They increased interest rates, so a lot of people made money on money markets, etc. But at the same time, because these guys didn't have real inflation, again, I want you guys to understand this. Real inflation would have said raw material costs more, so the delta between the raw material and the profit margin is yay big, is at a certain size. But if you are just inflating for the sake of inflating, not because raw material goes up, you can have interest rates going up and the stock market going up because of inflation, because that delta remains large. The interest rates have nothing to do with the delta because the interest rates are not going up for real inflation. They're going up because of what? Corporate greed. They don't teach this stuff in business school because it's the theft of the plutocracy. It's the theft of capitalism. You don't learn this in business school. You would never see that in business school. That they'll just treat inflation as a inflation. They don't treat inflation as causal or what was causal. So I hope you guys understood what I just said there. Two things cause inflation. Pricing power, meaning whatever the market would bear, or raw material prices and services going up. And because this inflation was not caused by raw material going up, check out your farmers if you doubt me. Farmers are not making more money. Oil, there's no shortage of oil. Prices went up because these guys could do it. And that is the reason why. It's important. It's important that folks understand the distinction. Unfortunately, we don't learn this in school. You have to have Politics Done Right and other great programs out there to tell you this. Now, when we talk about ignorant, right? When you hear camelation from Eric, that's what we're talking about. Somebody that has no interest in learning the truth, but I still love him. But he has no interest in learning the truth. He just wants to stay on his tunnel vision of ignorance. But that's fine. We still love you here because at least when you're inside of Ask Egberto Anything, you actually make sense there. All right, let's continue. Bridge, that's your picture on the screen. Did you have another one for the screen too? Let's see. All right, I called to say I'm voting for Kamala. Oh, wow. But let's go ahead and put another one out there. And this one here is another one for, I did something with the screen, but here it is. Kamala needs to figure out what color she is. You mean like Trump figured out what color he is? Okay. Let's see what else we got here. Para ver. Maywood, no, that's not the one. Paul Clemens, for your information, a post-birth abortion is called a school shooting. That is a good one. That is a good one, Paul Fleming. That's a good one. Let's see. Michael Rudden says, Egberto, conservatives don't understand that government policy can prevent tens of thousands of our people from dying from lack of healthcare coverage. Hey, I wrote an article that I haven't released yet. I'm going to play the video tomorrow. But for all of you that are listening, guess what I'm going to do? It's going to be, hey guys, sneak preview. Let me go to egbertowillies.com and give you that sneak preview of this here. Go ahead and check this out. It has a whole story for all of you. Please go ahead and share this one widely. And let me put the title in first. The title, oh, come on, guys, don't do that to me. The title is Red States. The title of the story is that I just wrote it. That's why I was kind of late. Got through writing that and had to hurry and do everything else. It said, red states, poor due to conservative policies, starve their citizens by denying them federal aid. And I'm not only talking about starving via food. I'm talking about starving via a whole lot of other stuff. There is that article. Please share it. Please go ahead and put it on your Facebook, Twitter. I'd love for you guys to go share that widely. Did I get it in every domain? I think I did. Please share that article. I spent a lot of time putting it together. I kind of based it off of a video I did, a rant I did on KPFT this morning. But that message about red states need to go out. So I ask you all to share it. Compártelo, por favor, con toda la gente, porque lo necesitamos que vean eso. We need them to see that. All right? Okay, I got another video for you, brothers and sisters. I got another video for you. This one here has to do with a very intelligent GOP guy. His name is Jeff. What again? His name is Jeff. Oh, Egberto, you forgot his name. He forgot his name, but it is Republican Jeff Duncan. All right, I want you to listen to Jeff Duncan here. Former Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan, he didn't mince his words. He was straight up and he was very clear to the Republican Party. And specifically, he called out Trump for exactly who he is. Check this out and then we'll take it on the other side.
He also went after the sitting governor, who happens to be a Republican. Let's listen.
Your governor, Kemp, and Raffensperger are doing everything possible to make 2024 difficult for Republicans to win. Kemp is very bad for the Republican Party. He wouldn't do anything. He could have ended the travesty with a phone call because I did nothing wrong.
Kemp is your former boss.
We served together for sure. Brian Kemp has forgotten more about being a Republican than Donald Trump knows about being a Republican. Brad Raffensperger and myself included, we have done more for the conservative cause than Donald Trump has ever done. This is now starting to not be Donald Trump's problem. This is starting to be the Republican Party's problem. We have to call him out for what he is. He's a felonious thug who walks down the street and throws sucker punches at people like Brian Kemp, like African-American journalists, like John McCain, and the list goes on and on and on again. And the Republican Party is content sitting across the street watching it happen and not calling him out, not jumping into that fight and saying, you are wrong for us. This 10% in the middle, which now feels like it's growing to be bigger than 10% in the middle, that's going to decide this election, are paying attention. And I've never seen a human be more self-destructive than Donald Trump the last 2 weeks. He continues to do it over and over and over again. And when he loses and the Republican Party finally catches their breath and wakes up and says, we need a GOP 2.0, there'll be some people around, but it's going to take time to fix. My hope is that Kamala Harris ends up being a blank canvas for us to be able to help work these new policies and new ideas into place. That's the risk I'm taking as a Republican voting for Kamala Harris.
Brother, Jeff Duncan is no liberal, no progressive, and he's voting for Kamala Harris, hoping that somehow some of the policies that they support, he wants to call her a blanket that he can, that some of their policies can get through. That's not what's material right here. What's material is this guy has truly put country over party, sanity over insanity, and reality over Earth number 2, right? He decides that the Republican Party, the way the Republican behaves right now, is simply a thuggish, felonious party, again, because they're following a felonious thug. He also points out that those people that Donald Trump object to in the Republican Party, most of them have forgotten about republicanism, what Donald Trump never, ever had. So, it's true. It is great to see Republicans, even as we don't agree with these guys, stand up for what's right. In this case, voting for Kamala Harris. Stand up for what's right. In this case, voting for sanity. Not only sanity, but responsibility. And I think guys like him should be commended for taking that stance. Yes, it's going to be painful for him for some time, but you know what? In the long run, he's going to look like a star. And going forward in the new Republican Party, as he defined it, Republican Party V2, version 2, it'll do him well. Good job, Jeff Duncan. And I tell you what, You keep pushing what you're pushing right now, just like a few other Republicans that came out. You're doing a good job. It's interesting because Kamala Harris will be going around starting tomorrow as she's presenting her case and presenting herself to the American people. She will have several Republicans as she campaign in the Midwest that will be campaigning with her. And we're talking about several powerful Republicans that will be campaigning with her. Now, let's see. Steigen Bergen Greek, welcome to Politics Done Right. Hey, Steigen, I always forget where you're from. I think it's Portland, Oregon, right? Remind me if I'm wrong or right. But you said, do you think the MAGA weirdos will start vigilante violence against immigrants like they are in the UK? Let me tell you, when we have that landslide in November, no, I don't think we're going to have a lot of these crazies coming out. You know why? Believe it or not, good for us that we lock a whole bunch of them up, because a lot of them I'm more concerned about them trying to create havoc before the election, because Trump has promised them that we're going to free you guys. So they may try to do some havoc for their compatriots. If they continue to listen to Fox News, that makes them believe they're likely to win, we could actually have problems before the election. They will lose big in November. Mark my word. This is not everybody. Oh, this is going to be a close election. This is going to be a close election. This will not be a close election. I am listening to the tea leaves of people. The only thing that would make me wrong is if Kamala Harris go out there and completely fall under, if Kamala Harris allows Donald Trump to lead the debate. When I say lead the debate, if she allows him to carry the narrative. If Kamala carries the narrative and disregard him as the has-been thug thief that he is, it will be a landslide victory. Because it's not like people like the guy. They don't. But they have to feel that if they're going to stay home or if they're going to vote their conscience, that whatever they vote is plausible to them. So the only way to do that is not to get into fights with Donald Trump. He's a has-been. He's a loser. He has never won an election, ever. Remember that. An electoral college put him into power. He has never run an election. He's never got majority support. Never. So it's not like he was likable at one time. He was never likable. Okay, so let's get reality here. And if Kamala does it right, and you know, even Jeff said it, but he was scared to say it. When he said, he also said a landslide. Listen to what he said. I see there are 10% that are not, you know, what is the word? 10% that are gettable. And that number is increasing every day. 10% of people that are undecided. And that number is increasing every day. Remember what that means. That is a definition of a landslide in the making. Especially as this guy continued to look like the kook that he is. Right? Especially as he continues to look like the kook that he is. All right, let's see what else we got here. Michael Ron says, Egberto, I don't know if it's going to be a close election or not. Tomorrow's going to be the day that decides the election. If Kamala chooses Josh Shapiro and Turbo Zionis, we put the election into a coin flip. I think I agree with you there. As those who stand against genocide will have one hell of a moral dilemma. If Kamala chooses Tim Walz, the whole of the Democratic Party and progressives wing will coalesce in that landslide victory you're hoping for. That is it. I think there's something to what you're saying there. There's absolutely something to what you're saying here. What happens when the Kamala's honeymoon period ends? The honeymoon period is going to end with Kamala when she becomes president. It's not going to end before. And the reason it's not going to end before is that people want something different. And that's why it's going to stay alive. I don't think you guys understand the fire that we are seeing right now. And again, I want people to not sit back and think, oh, let me put British MCP thing on the screen. I want y'all to understand this. It's not that Kamala is some new person that everybody suddenly fell in love with. It's the change agent. It's a change from two old men. Now we only have one old man. They see the fire and are scared. Exactly. So look, Kamala is going to be in 6 states next week or this week, and Donald Trump is going to be in Montana. I guess Truth Social is going to be. He's going to be campaigning on Truth Social. He's going to be locked down in his basement in Truth Social. Michael Radden says, Lee, what happens? We win the election, then we progressive push the policies that benefit the people and the environment. You nailed it. That's what we're going to do. Okay, let's see what we got here from Radden. He says, Kamala Harris narrows VP picks to Josh Shapiro, Tim Walz report. Let's see. Kamala has reportedly narrowed down her Democratic field to Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro and Governor Tim Walz ahead of the planned announcements on Tuesday. Shapiro and Walz. Oh, let's see. No, thanks. Come on. Oh, I can't read it. It's under a paywall. All right. I'll check it out later. Let's see. Thanks, Egberto Willies, for the screen. Of course. No fire, just media makeover, and she has to win all swing states. Orange Man does not. Actually, no. Orange Man has to win swing states. She only has to win Georgia, Wisconsin, and Michigan. She can lose Pennsylvania. She can lose Iowa. She can lose Indiana. I mean, come on. Let me tell you guys. Again, you have to learn politics, my brother Eric. You need to learn politics. She can lose Arizona. She can lose, New Mexico she's going to win. But you got to learn politics, brother. You have to learn politics. But this is going to be Atlanta. Anyway, folks, I got to get out of here. I have an interview immediately after this one. Let's see. Lee Grant says, Kamala is VP right now. How's that working for the people and environment? Pretty darn good. We got the best set of policies passed for the environment ever. Not what we want. In fact, you'll hear Michael Rudnin complain that it wasn't enough. But it was more than Obama provided. It was more than Clinton provided. It was more than anybody else provided. Okay, let's remember that. Dream on from New Mexico as a swing state. Dream on. It's amazing how fast Donald Trump's minority outreach started to cave in. It's amazing. Anyway, folks, I got to get out of here. But before I get out of here, I want to ask everybody to support our program. And how can you best support our program? You can best support our program by becoming First of all, you can find all the different ways to support the program by going to politicsandright.com/support, politicsandright.com/support. Alternatively, you can go ahead and become a patron by going to politicsandright.com/patron. There's a lot of benefits from becoming a patron. But one of the ways that I'm asking people to come on board as soon as possible is to become a paid subscriber of what again? Our newsletter, Egberto Off the Record. You can get that at politicsandright.com/newsletter, politicsandright.com/newsletter. Mike Cisak says, Egberto, I know those environmental laws are screwing U.S. farmers. That's not true. In fact, I'm going to interview a guy who just wrote a book on how Donald Trump screwed farmers. Maybe finally you will get from a farmer, you'll get to learn something in that regards. Michael Ranes Egberto, paywall bypass, New York Daily News link, Kamala Harris narrows VP candidate to Josh Shapiro and Tim Walz. Let's hope it's Tim Walz, and thank you for that extra link, my dear brother Rudnin. I got to get out of here, but one more time, please go ahead and subscribe. First of all, if you want to get our books in hard copy or in Kindle, go to politicsandright.com/books. But guess what? If you become a subscriber of our newsletter, a paid subscriber of our newsletter, you can read all of our books online. politicsandright.com/newsletter. Anyway, I got to get out of here. My name is Egberto Willies. This is Politics and Light. Love all of you. Got to get out of here. You know how I'm in this baby. I am what? Out.